Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin. Today I have a yoga practice for you that builds to wheel pose. So we'll open up the heart space and open up the hip flexors, that psoas area. If you have them, please do have your 2 blocks and straps somewhere nearby for today's class. And when you're ready, I'll meet you on your mat. I hope you have a really beautiful practice. We're starting today in a shape called broken toe pose. So you'll come to kneeling with your toes tucked under. And if you have teeny little baby toes like I do, use your hands, manually get those baby toes underneath you, even if that requires separating your heels so that you can get all 10 toes on the mat. If right away you feel that this is way too much in your body, sit on something. So you can put a block between your seat and your heels. And at any time you can come out of this shape. Close your eyes. And for a few moments here, just breathe. Set an intention for your practice today. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Gently blink your eyes open, look up. Now open your arms off to the side and then take your right arm over top of the left. So you're either giving yourself a big hug here, the backs of your hands are coming together, or your palms will touch for eagle arms. Shrug your shoulders away from your ears, lift your elbows higher, and if your palms are touching, try to take them away from your face. Unravel your arms, we'll switch sides. Left goes over top, same options, that hug, backs of your hands or palms to touch. Gently unravel. Sweep your right fingertips up to the sky, bend your right elbow. Use your left hand to snuggle that right arm behind you. And you can either stay here or that left hand will sweep around and you can hold your own shirt, hold your own hand, or use your strap here. Keep the lower ribs drawing in. And as best you can, keep your seat heavy even as this starts to become overwhelming in sensation in the feet. So remember that discomfort is all right, pain is not. So at any point you can come out of this, tuck the toes. I'm just going to take the left side, sweep your left arm up, bend your left elbow, nuzzle it behind you. Maybe the right hand comes back behind you and you take your bind. Keep the front of your neck long and your chin lifted. Gently unravel your hands. You'll come forward to all fours. Hallelujah. Untuck your toes and give the tops of your feet a little pitter patter on the earth. And then keep your toes untucked. Sit on your heels. Grab a hold of your strap or your tie or your towel, whatever you're using. You'll hold your strap in front of you. Your arms are a little bit wider than shoulder width distance apart. Again, keep the lower ribs hugging in as you sweep the strap up and then back in space. Right away, you'll notice if your strap is too tight or too loose. So you can walk your hands closer together or further apart, depending on what you need. And if you find a little sweet spot at the back where you feel a stretch through your chest and your shoulders, you can hang out there or take little flossing movements. Last one. take your strap off to the side. You're gonna pull forward to all fours, and I'm just gonna switch directions. Stacking shoulders over top of your wrists, your hips above your knees. Good. On your inhale, drop your belly, let your tail, your heart, and your gaze lift. Exhale, round through your spine, press the mat away, spread your shoulder blades apart, look to your belly button. Again, inhale, drop your belly, your tail, heart, and gaze lift. Exhale, round through your spine. Keep moving through your favorite cat-cow shapes on your own time and on your own breath here. Good. On your inhale, find a neutral spine. You'll extend your right leg long behind you, lifting from your right inner thigh. Draw your navel to your spine, sweep your left arm forward, turn your palm to face in. Inhale here. Exhale, elbow and knee tap underneath you, rounding through your spine. Inhale as you reach out. Exhale, elbow and knee tap. Inhale, reach out. Last one, exhale, a little tap. Inhale as you reach out, pause. You'll bend that right knee, sweep your left hand behind you, grab a hold of your right ankle with your left hand. Press foot into hand, hand into foot, and widen your collarbones. Keep drawing your navel in and up, and scooping your left outer hip underneath you. Inhale here. Exhale, come back to all fours. Switch sides, send that left leg long, lifting from your inner thigh, your heel in line with your hip. Sweep your right arm forward, palm faces in. Inhale. Exhale, elbow and knee tap. Inhale as you reach up. Exhale, elbow and knee tap. Inhale, reach back out. Last one, elbow and knee tap. Inhale, reach back out. Bend your left knee, swing that right hand behind you, catch a hold of your ankle. Keep the collarbones wide. Keep your core strong. Inhale. Exhale, come back to all fours. Good. Walk your hands about a hand print forward. Tuck your toes and lift your hips back and up to downward facing dog, where you can really take any movements here that feel nice to wake up your body. When you're ready, start to introduce some stillness into your body. Walk your hands back towards your feet, forward folding at the back of your mat. You'll bend your knees generously, interlace your hands behind your back or use your strap, and allow your interlaced hands to fall away from the back of your pelvis. Let the crown of your head be heavy. And if that feels challenging, shake out your head and your neck and see if you can get any tension you feel to let go. Gently release your hands towards the mat, and then inhale, halfway lift. Your hands touch something, so either your shins or your thighs, as your collarbone widens. And then exhale, crawl yourself forward to downward facing dog. Remembering that your priority in your downward facing dog is length through the spine, not having perfectly straight legs. So you can bend your knees a little bit so you can keep your spine long. On your inhale, ripple forward to plank. Exhale, start at your tail as you glide your hips back and up, downward facing dog. Inhale, ripple forward to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, ripple forward to plank. Exhale, lower all the way down onto your stomach. Untuck your toes, Press the tops of your feet into the mat and then bring your hands down by your lowest ribs. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Keep your elbows drawing in. Inhale, lift your chest. Hover your hands 1 inch off the mat. Exhale, melt back down. Inhale, lift your chest. Hover your hands 1 inch off the mat. Exhale, melt back down. Inhale, lift your chest. Hover your hands 1 inch off the mat. Swim them forward. Swim them back behind you. Interlace your hands and press your knuckles back towards your heels, lifting your hands off of your seat. In this back bend, you're pressing the tops of your feet down. Your inner thighs are reaching towards the sky as your tail lengthens towards your heels. Take one more inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down. Plant your hands by your lowest ribs. Press up to all fours. Keep your left palm planted. Inhale, sweep your right fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, thread your right arm underneath your left, coming onto the outside of your right shoulder and right cheek. You can keep your left palm planted as it is. You can walk it forward to the top of your mat, or you can take a bind by reaching your left fingertips to the sky, rotating at your shoulder so your thumb faces the wall behind you, and then bending your left elbow. So the back of your left hand rests on the back of your right thigh or holds onto the front of the right hip or holds onto the front of the thigh. And then draw your left hip back in space. Plant your left palm in front of your nose. Press into it, sweep right fingertips to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, right hand meets the mat. Let's switch. Sweep your left fingertips up. Inhale. Exhale, left threads underneath right. And anything you want to do with your right hand, you can take here. Bring your right hip back in space this time. Plant your right palm in front of your nose. Inhale, sweep your left fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, left hand meets the mat. Walk your hands a handprint forward. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your right leg to the sky. Lift from your right inner thigh. Your hips are square. Exhale, plant your right foot beside your right thumb. Keep your left knee lifted. Squeeze your inner thighs together and inhale to sweep your fingertips up to the sky. Now bend your left knee so it just hovers off the mat. Catch a hold of your left wrist with your right hand. As you lengthen your tail down, reach your fingertips up to the sky and then tip up and over towards the right. Wrap your right armpit forward. Maybe you start to straighten out your left leg. It does not need to be perfect. Inhale, lengthen out your spine, sweep your fingertips to the sky, release that wrist. Exhale, warrior two. You're looking for heel to arch alignment in your warrior two. So the heel of your right foot bisects the arch of your left. Inhale, flip your right palm, reverse your warrior. Exhale, bring your right elbow to your right knee and sweep your left fingertips forward. Inhale, flip your palm, reverse your warrior. Exhale, your right elbow to your right knee, left fingertips forward. Last one, inhale. Exhale, your right elbow to your right knee, left fingertips forward to stay. Another option would be to reach your left fingertips to the sky, spin at the shoulder so your palm faces the wall behind you, and then bend your left elbow. So the back of your left hand meets the back of your right hip, or you can hold on to the front of your right thigh. You're wrapping your heart up towards the ceiling and making sure that you're barely putting pressure on that right elbow. So if you wanted to, you could sweep the hand forward. I'm sorry about the sirens. Living downtown in a big city. Sweep your left fingertips up to the sky. Come back up to warrior two, flip your palm, reverse your warrior. Exhale, windmill your hands to frame your front foot. Now, that right hand is going to clear the mat and sweep up to the sky. Your left hand will plant underneath your left shoulder. You'll pop up onto your left tippy toes and reach your right fingertips up. So now you're in a twisted lunge. Keep your left hip lifted. Roll your right shoulder back. Inhale. Exhale, right hand meets the mat. Step back to plank. Lower halfway or all the way down, chaturanga. Inhale to your back bend of choice. Make sure that your neck stays in line with your back. So you're not kicking that head up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your left leg to the sky, lift from your inner thigh. Exhale, plant your left foot beside your left thumb. Hug your inner thighs together, sweep your fingertips up to the sky. Bend your right knee. Catch a hold of your right wrist with your left hand. Lift your upper hip points up, lift your fingertips up. Inhale. Exhale, tip up and over towards the left. Wrap both your left armpit and your right hip forward. Keep your tail heavy, maybe start to straighten out that back leg. Inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky, release your wrist. Exhale, open it up, warrior two. Wrap your left inner thigh up and back in space. Inhale, flip your palm, reverse your warrior. Exhale, your left elbow to your left knee, sweep your right fingertips forward. Inhale, come up. Exhale, elbow to knee. Last one. Exhale, elbow to knee, and you're staying here. So you can stay in extended side angle with the right fingertips pointing forward, or you could take them to the ceiling and bind. Your palm will face the wall behind you, and then you'll bend your right elbow. Roll your right shoulder back, lift your chest up. Again, you want to be really light on those left fingertips so you could reach them forward. Take your right fingertips up to the sky. Inhale, come back up, flip your palm, reverse your warrior. Exhale, windmill your hands down. So again, that left hand will sweep the mat and sweep up to the sky. Your right palm will plant, your right heel will lift. Sweep your left fingertips to the sky. Left palm plants down, step back to plank, lower chaturanga on your exhale. Inhale, your chest lifts. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg to the sky, lift from your right inner thigh. Exhale, plant your right foot beside your right thumb. Tap your left knee down. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Inhale, sweep your fingertips up to the sky. Interlace your hands, keep your indexes free. Bend your elbows. Wear your biceps like earmuffs, so hug your elbows towards one another. And on your inhale, lift your chest as you sink your hips. Keep drawing the inner thighs towards one another. Inhale, sweep your fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer at heart center. Tuck your left toes, lift your left knee off the mat. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Inhale, get long through the spine. Exhale, twist to the right. Hook your left elbow on the outside of your right knee. Press your palms towards one another to wrap your left rib cage forward and your right shoulder back. Unravel, sweep your fingertips up to the sky, crescent lunge. Exhale, bring your hands to the inside of your right foot. Tap your left knee back down. Heel toe your right foot towards the right side of your mat. Option to turn your toes out. Make sure that your knee is on a 90-degree angle and your knee and toes point the same direction. Take an inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, option to come to forearms. Option to tuck your left toes and lift your left knee off of the mat. Soften your left knee down. Plant your palms underneath your shoulder. Your left palm will stay planted underneath your left shoulder. Your right fingertips will sweep up to the sky as you inhale. Bend that back knee. Grab a hold of your left ankle with your right hand. Keep shining your heart towards the sky. You could always use a strap here. I want you to sink your hips and bring your heel closer to your bum, rather than lifting your bum towards your heel. Release your foot, bring your right hand to the mat. Draw your navel to your spine. You're going to step back to three-legged dog. Bend your right knee, stack your hips. Inhale. Tap your right toes behind you. Drop to the knife side of your left foot. Sweep your right fingertips towards the front of the room, wild thing. Core is strong. You're pressing into your feet and your left hand to lift your hips and heart higher. Inhale. Find downward facing dog. Stay here or flow through a vinyasa. Ripple forward to plank. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, your chest lifts. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your left leg to the sky. Exhale, plant your left foot beside your left thumb. Tap your right knee down. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Inhale, fingertips sweep to the sky. Interlace your hands, keep your indexes free. Inhale. Bend your elbows, lift your chest. If you sink your hips, make sure you're not opening them up. Keep the right outer hip wrapping forward. Sweep your fingertips up to the sky. Tuck your right toes. Lift your right knee off the mat. Exhale, hands to prayer at heart center. Inhale, get long through the spine, nice strong core. Exhale, twist towards the left, hooking your right elbow on the outside of your left knee. Keep the deep bend in your left knee. Lift your heart up. Unravel to crescent, sweep your fingertips up to the sky. Exhale your hands to the inside of your left foot. Tap your right knee down. Heel toe that left foot off to the side. Decide if you're turning your toes out. Make sure the knee points the same direction and there's no pain in it. You want to be safe. Inhale, your chest lifts. Either stay here or lower to forearms. And even if you lower to forearms, you're still not dumping down. The collarbones are still really wide here. And maybe your right toes tuck and your right knee lifts back up. Right knee softens down. Your right palm will plant underneath your right shoulder, and you'll inhale to sweep the left fingertips up. Option to bend your right knee. Grab a hold of your right ankle with your left hand. Make sure you're not dumping into the right side You want space between your shoulder and your ear. And let your left hand come to the mat, your right foot come down, and you'll slide it back to three-legged dog, bending your knees, stacking your hips. Maybe the left toes tap behind you. You drop onto the knife side of your right foot, and you sweep your left fingertips back in space. Come back, downward facing dog, where you can stay or take a vinyasa, ripple forward to plank. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, your chest lifts. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring your knees to the mat. I want you to walk your knees about 1 inch back behind your hips. Walk your hands all the way to the top of your mat. And then send your heart down towards the mat. So your hips will stack over top of your knees, and either your chin or your forehead will come down, depending on what feels more appropriate in your body. You don't want pain in your neck here. Now this is a tricky one to get out of. I want you to spread your fingers really nice and wide, press to the tops of your feet, and slither through to lie down on your stomach in a sphinx position. So you're not actually really lying down, the chest stays lifted. Your elbows are on the mat underneath your shoulders, your fingers are spread nice and wide. Now, as you rotate your inner thighs up to the sky, try to lengthen your tail towards your heels. I want you to draw your navel in and up, so your core is working here to protect your lower back. As best you can, try to let your glutes relax. So instead of clenching your bum, I want your core to be keeping your lower back nice and protected. Energetically draw your forearms back in space to widen the collarbones. Now, you might stay here. You might widen your hands slightly and very slowly, working through a pain-free range of motion, press your palms forward and away from you and start to straighten out your arms. Because you're using leverage to get into this back bend, it's really quite easy to push your body past where it is safe to go. So if the compression in your lower back ever turns to pain, heat, tingling, sharp stabbing feelings, anything that doesn't feel normal, that's a good sign to come down to forearms or lie all the way down on your stomach. Keep the core strong. Keep pressing the tops of your feet down. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down. Create a pillow for your hands for your forehead. Bring your forehead down. And if you feel tension in your lower back, give your hips a wiggle. Good. Bring your forearms back down to the mat for your Sphinx pose. This time, I want you to tuck your toes. Start to press your hands down to spread your shoulder blades apart, tuck your chin towards your chest. Draw your core in to lift your hips up. You are now in forearm plank with your palms on the mat. Start to walk your feet towards your elbows. You're pressing your hands down, and the more you press down, the higher your hips lift. Your head is nowhere near the mat. There's space between your shoulders and your ears. Take an inhale. Exhale, walk your feet back to your forearm plank. One more inhale. Take an exhale. Take your right hand to the mat, take your left hand to the mat, glide back, downward facing dog. You can stay in downward facing dog or flow. Ripple forward to plank, lower chaturanga. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing. Bend your knees, look forward, make your way through to seated. Lie down on your back. When you get down onto your back, you want to place the soles of your feet on the mat, ankles underneath your knees. You'll bend your elbows alongside your waist, fingertips to the ceiling like you're a T-Rex. Press into the soles of your feet, press into the backs of your arms, lift your hips for bridge. Option to stay here, or you can interlace your hands behind your back, roll your shoulders underneath you, and press the outsides of your arms and your hands down into the earth. As you rotate your inner thighs down this time, keep lengthening your tail towards the backs of your knees, feeling your navel draw in and up. Unclasp your hands, tuck your chin towards your chest, and roll down one vertebrae at a time. When you get down onto your back, knock your knees in, separate your feet mat width distance apart. You can just close your eyes and rest for a moment. Blink your eyes open. Set your feet hip width distance apart again. Bend your elbows alongside your waist. This time I'm going to walk you through wheel. So I'll get you into bridge and you can stay there if you're feeling comfortable. Or if you're ready for wheel today, we'll do that together. So no matter where you're going, soles of your feet on the mat, T-Rex arms. Press into the soles of your feet, press into the backs of your arms, lift your hips, you're in wheel. You're in bridge, and you can stay here or interlace your hands. For wheel, hands come to the mat beside your ears with your fingertips pointing towards your shoulders. You'll press into your hands, press into your feet. Very carefully lift to the crown of your head, draw your elbows towards one another, and then lift your head off the mat by pressing your hands down. Now in wheel, your head must lift off the mat for this to be a safe place to be, okay? Your inner thighs, no matter which back bend you're in, are wrapping down. Tail is lengthening towards the front of your mat. You are breathing. Your core is strong. Tuck your chin towards your chest or unclasp your hands. Roll all the way down. Knock your knees in. Separate your feet mat width distance apart. Close your eyes, just feel. If you are done with your back bends today, you're gonna stay exactly as you are. Otherwise, I'll walk you through one final, either bridge or wheel, and then we'll start to bring it down and start to work our way into Shavasana. So, setting the feet once more. If you're taking a back bend, ankles underneath knees. Bending your elbows alongside your waist. Pressing into the soles of your feet, pressing into the backs of your arms, lifting your hips. Maybe hands come to the mat beside your ears, fingertips to shoulders. Press to the crown of your head, draw your elbows towards one another, and then lift your head off the mat. Strong core. Toes pointing same direction as the knees, which is straight forward. So you want to imagine that you have a block between the thighs and you're giving them a big squeeze. Take an inhale. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Roll all the way down. Separate your feet mat width distance apart. This time cactus your arms and just let your knees fall from side to side. The next time that your knees fall towards the right, leave them on the right side. If appropriate, you can look over your left shoulder and keep your right ankle flexed, placed over top of the left thigh. Take your right ankle off of your left thigh, Take your gaze up to the ceiling, drop your knees towards the left, gaze to the right, maybe left ankle to the right thigh. Left ankle off of your right thigh. Bring your gaze up to the ceiling. All right. Pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze, and you can rock side to side. And start to take your hands behind your knees. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Rock back and forth along the length of your spine. Finding enough momentum to come up to seated. And you'll turn to face the long side of your mat. And take a wide-legged position. Now, we haven't done a lot of this action in today's class, so if wide-legged is actually quite narrow today, that's totally cool. I want you to keep your pelvis tilting forward. So you can do that by bending your knees or sitting on a block, and you'll notice that your pelvis is tilting backwards if you're kind of in a slunchy position or a slouchy position. So take your fingertips behind you. Lift your chest, tilt your pelvis forward, and inhale. And you really might stay here, and that's totally fine. Or keeping the forward tilting pelvis, keeping the chest lifted, you might start to walk your hands forward. And if you do, the crown of your head is the last thing to fold. So you're not leading this fold with your head. That's going to, again, tilt the pelvis back. You want to keep the chest lifted, with the crown of your head being the very last thing to go. Inhale, start to walk your hands back towards you. Take your hands underneath your knees. Bring the soles of your feet together, your knees wide apart. I want you to create little tiny bit of space between the heels and the pelvis, as little space as you can give. You can interlace your hands on your toes or take the peace fingers to the big toes. Keep your chest lifted. Swing from side to side, get the flesh out from underneath you, big inhale. Exhale again, hinging at the hips, so the heart goes forward, 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 forward. Eventually you'll hit a wall where forward doesn't really work anymore, and it's there that you can let the spine stretch around and the crown of your head be heavy. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Inhale, slowly roll up. Use your hands, guide your knees closed like a book. Extend your legs out in front of you. Again, the pelvis tilts forward, and you'll know that because you can sit upright pretty easily. Bending the knees, really good option. This is tilting the pelvis back, and it's not really going to get into your hamstrings. It's going to give you more of a stretch through your lower back. So keep your chest lifted, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Think up and over as you fold. So really landing your belly on your thighs. Big inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, you might start to fold. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Inhale, roll all the way up. Start to reach your fingertips forward, hollow out your belly, creating a C curve through the spine. And as slowly as you can, you'll roll down onto your back. Taking a final couple shapes before Shavasana. We'll take a twist here. So find a capital T or cactus shape in your arms. Bend your knees, place the soles of your feet on the mat. I want you to lift your hips, send your hips to the right side of the mat, let your knees fall towards the left, and they can stack on top of one another, or you can cross the right thigh over top of the left. If your knees float, it's no big deal. Take a block or a book underneath them, but you do want that right shoulder to connect to the earth because that is the anchor of your twist. Draw your navel to your spine, bring your hips and knees to center. Uncross your legs if you crossed them. From center, hips move left, knees fall to the right. Option to stack the feet or find that cross position. Draw your navel to your spine, uncross your legs, bring your hips to center, and then ending in a position before Shavasana, final thing, where your hips are neutral, your body is symmetrical. So you can pull your knees in towards your chest and give yourself a big squeeze. You might take happy baby by separating your knees and reaching through the insides of your legs to hold on to the outsides of your ankles or your feet. It feels neat to rock from side to side. You can do that. And then when you're ready, you'll float your way into the most important and the most precious shape of the practice, Shavasana. Extending your legs out long, collecting your shoulders onto your back, turning your palms to face up, closing your eyes, and letting all of your fantastic hard work sink in. If you have the time to stay in Shavasana longer, I really recommend that you do so. If and when you are ready to move on, start to bring small movements to your fingers and toes. You can give your head a shake from side to side. Bend into one knee and then the other. Roll over onto your right side and pause there briefly. Keep your head heavy and your eyes closed or your gaze soft as you make your way to seated. Bring your hands to prayer at heart center as you arrive at your seat. Ending today's practice with a moment of gratitude. Thanking yourself for spending this time on your mat today. Thank yourself for moving your body. And thank your body for moving you. Remember today and every day that you are strong. You are powerful. You are capable. And you are worthy. Big inhale. Exhale, make a sound. The divine light in me bows to the divine light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I greatly appreciate it. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. You can comment down below with your favorite part of the sequence or any recommendations or requests you have for videos that you'd like to see in the future. You can subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see videos from me weekly. I do one workout and one yoga video a week, and sometimes I add in little surprises here and there. I hope you have a really fantastic rest of your day. Again, thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.